Good morning, Prof.
Good morning.
It's good to see you. Good to be in your house this morning. And today we are in the house of a very great man, Prof Kwame Addo. I call him an unsung hero because he's done so much for this country. There are so many things that I've also seen since coming here, and I believe that it's a great opportunity since this series is concerned with the history of this country within the context of the NDC. So, Prof, once again, good morning. And for those who do not know, who is Professor Kwame Addo?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, it's also a pleasure to be in this platform. I always normally start off by clarifying that I'm an African from the western part of the continent, at the center of the world, which is Ghana, from the eastern region. And my hometown is Ibiru, and the district is Ipopom South.
Interesting. My wife's mother comes from Ibiru.
Perfect.
So you have that.
That is how, that's where I come from. Okay. I'm an architect, I'm a development architect, meaning that I'm an architect by profession, but my inclination has been towards development, which has dovetailed into infrastructure. All of these things have been on the backdrop of my artistic background, because my first engagement in Ghana was as a graphic designer at Tech, and that is the formation, the foundation. So it is the artistic angle that has dovetailed into architecture, spatial development. So in a nutshell, I'm an architect of development. And by doing so, it means that I'm handling issues of harnessing resources, infrastructure trajectories, and socioeconomic activities.
Wow. Well, I'm sure at the appropriate time we'll show you some of the marvelous, mind-blowing work of Prof. But Prof is very modest, so I'll push him. Prof, beyond that, I know that you are also a musician, and you are also an artist. Beyond architecture, you are into music and different and various forms of art. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Thank you. They say that the mother art is architecture. And without it, we don't have a soul of our own. That is why we always want to refer to God as the great artist. But that is where the seed capital comes from. But through that, a whole session of creative activities evolve, which also include the musical aspect. You see, we should just take note that all of these things, they are handling basic elements of structure, organization, piecing things together to come and create a harmonious outcome. And that is what development architecture is all about. So the music, just as it's a composition, it requires different instruments which have to come together. Everyone plays at his own time and to make a particular statement at the right opportunity. So music has also been a part. We can say that these are talents, but one thing is having talents, one thing is having to apply it to your overall know-how. So music is true. It's also, I'll take the opportunity to also make us understand that the art angle, it's got to do with also illustration. You see, as a graphic artist, you deal with photography, illustration, you deal with marketing, publicity. These are all facets which are also delved into, which has allowed me to use them in my professional life in terms of even branding, which comes out of that. So they are all related, and everything we do is connected one way or the other.
Again, very modest. But Prof, I just discovered a couple of days ago that your music has actually been used as a soundtrack for various productions across the world.
Yes, music is at the center of everything, because that's why they call it the international language. And
Discovery Channel,
yes, yes. The music was not really produced. I'm a Sony Music, what do I say? I work for them.
Product, yeah.
But that was first EMI, who now transitioned into Sony Music. So I do most of their library music, and so my songs are used for most of the Hollywood movies.
Can you imagine Hollywood movies? So the soundtracks that we hear on a lot of the Hollywood movies came from this man, very humble man sitting before us. And when you read about him, you'll be amazed. I mean, I'm even flabbergasted that I'm sitting before this man, and he's so humble and down to earth. Prof, we're proud of you, and Ghana is proud to have such a person like you. Prof, one of the notable things that you are known for, beyond the many things that you've done across the globe, one of the things that most Ghanaians, especially those in the development space, know you for is the natural resource map of Ghana. And you are the person who brought that up, that natural resource map, which today, even up to today, is a very, very amazing, the depth and the scale and the scope of it. How did that come about? And what is the state of that map and issues surrounding it?
It's true. That is actually the accumulation of all my works, of all my facets. And it is the singular statement that talks about all the different things I just finished speaking about. Harmony, things coming together. It's very instructive, it's decisive, it's informative, gives you an insight. And most importantly, it also makes anybody who has got an interest in investing in Ghana or the future of Ghana would have in some way or the other an interest in taking a glance at this map. As much as it's being called a natural resource map, I call it the opportunity map because it has three key components. The natural resources, because remember you can show where all your natural resources are, but if you can't go and pick them, they're still there. So the key layover has been the infrastructure trajectory. And that means where the possible roads will go, the rail outlets, the gas pipelines, the energy pipelines, everything has to also merge well with the resource map. And last but not the least, economic activity, because these two things should now generate the people to know where they can set up their businesses, how they can get jobs. And that is what is going to be the final frontier for all of us to see the best way to go forward. With everything, you need a vision. A vision has to be seen and it has to be understood. And through that, it is the starting point. It is literally a blueprint because within it, you can dream, you can see possibilities. In fact, I would like to mention clearly that this has been a map which has been used for our nation on several occasions to galvanize funds for investment. And that map has been used officially to garner those funds. Because when somebody wants to come and invest to you, they want to know what you have. They want to see if you understand you have a future. So if you are able to show them very clearly and very visually what you have and where you are going, you would see it will be striking a higher chord. So that map, as you rightly put, it's something that I think we should look deeper. But it's just not one map. The map has got different aspects. Every sector has got its map. Transport, energy, health, social infrastructure, environment, they all have their individual maps. And all of these maps now are taken to another level where this map is now broken down region by region. So every region now will be amplified where it now shows every district, what resource they have, what banks are available, and what are the drivers of each district. In other words, are they agricultural based? Do they have water bodies, etc.? And when you've done that for the regions, you now zoom in deeper into every district. I remember very well a while ago when I was also interviewed on the same thing, and they asked me about the map, and I actually said that if I were anywhere near in leadership, what I will be able to offer is one district, one map. Because you see, with that one, when you have a district with everything involved in, you've actually gotten to the last moment. Remember, that the district is where you have your communities. And that is where you have the heartbeat of the people on the ground. So I think this concept of maps go a long way. They are simplified, not only for the investment community, but also for the educational facility. Because it is talking about us understanding what we have and what to do with what you have.
Wow. I mean, I'm just excited. I'm just blown away. So we have the map, and the map talks about the infrastructure that is required to unearth what is on the map, and then the economic opportunities. And I'm sure you see the map on your screen. And it says it goes beyond just the general map of Ghana, but they are in districts as well. So this is a very, very amazing work. And Prof, I think I'm right when I say that Prof is an unsung hero, and we as a country need to tap into this kind. So what inspired it? I mean, you did all this by yourself. You know, what inspired this?
That's why I'll come to that, because I was actually going to put in a very key word, because it could sound like I'm doing everything. But we should understand that research is where everything begins. Research, you need a source. And it is important to also acknowledge National Development Planning Commission, where I was actually part as a member officially. And having the opportunity to be a technical advisor to the Ministry of Transport, to understand the railway systems, roads and highways, to understand our trajectories, the airports, bus transport, and lake transport all together. But also, all of these things, they have to now be put in line with the issue of tourism. Because remember, an investor first comes to your country first as a tourist. So the tourism angle is directly connected to everything. So in the past, I was also an advisor to the Ministry of Tourism. So all of these things were giving me enough information and understanding of what to do. So after tourism, I had the opportunity to work obviously with works and housing, which is also in my domain as an architect, as technical advisor. And ultimately, to wrap up all these sectors, finally at the Ministry of Finance as the infrastructure development expert, where I was now collating our expenditures and all the different infrastructure that we're doing, so that a picture can come clear of what is going where and what are the gaps, so that when another government comes or we ourselves are returning, we can see what we're supposed to do. And it also gives the investor a confidence and a trust, because we are finally showing them where the money is going and where it can go next.
Wow, interesting. So the question of the NDPC is what stands out for me, because we've always been having conversations about the country having a development agenda that goes beyond partisan politics. And I think it's something that we'll revisit at an appropriate time. Having such a map, knowing where the resources are, having a strategy to deal with them, it must go beyond partisan politics.